Hello and welcome back to the Neitherworld podcast. I'm Charlie and I'm joined by my co-hosts
Perry,
Matty, with a new ship and waiting for an episode where I'm in it for the whole time.
Yes, and Ben. Ben is also here. Hello. Matty, you're next.
Yes, I am. I was having a drink. Calm down.
I'm sorry.
So, this week we are joined by another very special guest. So, if you'd like to introduce yourself
hello.
and tell us something about you.
Oh God, what's even interesting about me? Anyway, I go by Bunny. I've been cosplaying for about 10 years now. It makes me sound really old, but yeah, that's something about me.
Nice.
Fun fact.
Amazing. So let's get started. First up, we have the deets. Now, as we all know, we don't have much to talk about because Broadway is shut. But I thought this week we'd actually talk about... Yeah, well, lockdown, Broadway is still closed. And it's looking to be closed for a very long time. But I thought this week we'd actually, instead of talking about the news, talk a little bit about some other Broadway shows that we might be interested in that aren't Beetlejuice, that we're really looking forward to going to see once this lockdown is all over. I'd say probably both Broadway and West End, as we are from the UK. But yeah, any shows that we're interested in seeing once this lockdown's over. I know there's loads of shows that are really underappreciated, and it'd be a nice little time to shine some light on them. So yeah, so Matty, have you got any shows?
For my little sister's birthday, she's getting to go see Matilda, so we'll go see Matilda.
Yes.
When that's
Yes.
back up.
Oh,
I knew that would trigger Ben.
Yes.
And then next year, School of Rock's coming down to where I live,
Yes.
so get to see that as well.
Tour. I'm so excited for that.
Matthew's just
I'm
said my
going
rights.
to my city,
Oh.
so hopefully I can go see it once or twice. So
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
absolutely. It's not coming anywhere near me, but I'm going to be going.
No.
My university town is having it, so I'm going to take the opportunity to go back there and see it a couple of times on there.
Amazing.
Yes. I think I said this last time of one of the things that we were what are you looking forward to doing after isolation? And one of the things I said was Mary Poppins, to go and give Jack North, shout out to Jack North, a very big hug for teaching me all these lovely dance things. So he's, if you guys haven't listened to the other eps, he's a man that I'm very much in love with, and also is very sweet and talented. And he was in Pinocchio and Mary Poppins, and they have some cool choreography I wanted to learn, and so I asked him for some like dance tutorial things, and he sent me some videos, and so I'm like gonna go and thank him for that and see that. Matilda, definitely, because I miss Mr. Wormwood with my whole soul. I sent the guy who plays Mr. Wormwood pictures of my Wormwood cosplay, and he was like, "Oh, this is really cool. Like I hope you're staying safe." He's like a sweetheart. So next time I go, I'm gonna try and go in cosplay and probably freak out the staff, because people in the West End don't really do that. As for I think you mentioned underappreciated shows, I'm gonna do a quick plug for some online stuff people can check out because they are underrated as fuck. Or honestly, just DM me. I'm going to be honest, I have audio bootlegs of these because they don't have a cast recording yet. So Romantics Anonymous, Love Story in France about chocolate and cute stuff like that. The Grinning Man, best musical I've ever seen in the world, based on a novel called The Man Who Laughs by Victor Hugo, about self-identity, this guy who had his face deformed at a really young age.
Which inspired the Joker.
It did, exactly.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
It did.
But he's not an incel, so we love him.
That was the inspiration for the Joker.
But he's not an incel, and he's actually a good dude, and it's actually a little bit different. Better or different. Flowers for Mrs. Harris.
Yeah.
Yes. Flowers for Mrs. Harris, who has a full pro shot free online for like a month. Please Google that. It's like, it gives you the most hope in humanity forever again, and it's about this woman who wants a dress, and it's very, very simple plot, but very, very, very beautiful music and message. Ordinary Days, 4-person show, cast recording fully available online, gorgeous, will make you cry, humanity and friendship, and how you can interact with other people's lives and affect them in a way that you don't even realize. 12th Night the Musical, which is, I'm not super into Shakespeare, but it's like, they still use Shakespearean language, but the songs convey the emotions and the characters really well, as well as they're just fucking bops. Big plug for Broadway Bounty Hunter by Joe Iconis. So underrated. It closed within a month that I was on holiday. I saw first previews and opening and closing, which is bullshit, but it was cool, but it was bullshit. Cast Recording comes out tomorrow, so whenever this will be released, it's definitely out. That is gorgeous. It's about an old woman who, not that old, but an older woman that usually you don't see in theatre, who becomes a bounty hunter and has to go on this journey. And there's also some family drama. There's some love. There's some cool choreography. Seawall is a good play. You can Google that. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but it's one man, emotional, gorgeous, Andrew Scott. You can buy that for like $5 online. Coraline the musical. Have we spoken about this? Do you guys know about the existence of this?
I know about the existence of it, but I don't think we've spoken about it before.
Coraline the musical, for those who have seen, it captures Neil Gaiman's like crazy shit in the most gorgeous way. So like the way that the music plays is they've got these, like that tiny little piano, the like with the high notes, and like a saw against a cello string, and like all these disturbing sounds and songs ending in the middle of things. And it's there's a whole cast recording online and probably some other stuff. But it's so eerie and gorgeous. So if you like that, you'll love that. So definitely check that out, all that out. And Romantics Anonymous, Grinning Man, Flowers for Mrs. Harris. Dead Dog in a Suitcase is one you should Google. There's like 3 songs online. It's a lot, so I won't go too much into that. But it's by my friend Carl Gross, who I love very much. Ordinary Days, 12th Night the Musical, Broadway Bounty Hunter, Seawall. Look at those. That goes for all of you. That is a list. That is a to-do list.
Check all of them out, yeah.
That was literally, that was actually me reading off of a presentation of, like, lists that I had for a, you know those, like, niche PowerPoint things that you can do with your friends? We went on, so we went on, like, a Zoom call, and my thing was, like, 14 different underrated musicals or plays, because, like, holy shit, there are so many, and I'm looking forward to Amadeus, watching it at the National Theatre Archives in person when life is open again, because I'm working on an Amadeus cosplay as well, which I said before, but it's so gorgeous and so stupid, and it's basically Mozart being a man-child of, like, Salieri, his, like, rival being like, hey, bud, I'm this big guy in Vienna, and then him being like, oh, I'm gonna go to the person you work for work, and he's crazy talented, but Mozart's, like, makes fart jokes and sex jokes and is an idiot.
Sounds like an icon.
He is. His first line on stage is him meowing like a cat chasing after his girlfriend on hands and knees, and then saying, like, the dirtiest garbage, like, 5-year-old humor, and he has the most annoying laugh that's kind of like, like, the most high-pitched, disgusting everything, and he's such a bastard, and I love it. There's always a bastard. In all musicals I love, there's always a bastard. Check out all of those. I will, and I'll give my details at the end, and feel free to berate me on TikTok for any things of that, because I'm so happy to talk about it forever and always. That was a lot, but I think we
should just do an episode where Ben's just on his own. I think Ben could fill a full episode.
I absolutely could, but also that just needs to get out there, because every single one of those, apart, like, I know about one person who knows each of the, like, they're good shows and some people know them, but there isn't a fan base for it, which I kind of like and I kind of don't. But, like, more people need to know it, because also you've got time on Isolation, and all of those shows are things that change your life in some little way, and it's so nice. Like, you find those shows that the message does, or how cool they are, you have this whole new view on theatre, like the way they do puppetry, the way they do scenery, costumes, like, they're just great to look at. But for the ones that are on, Mary Poppins and Matilda mainly, and any new stuff, I will be rushing to any theatres to see everything new and brilliant. And just going to London again, just anything. I need to leave this house.
Don't we all?
But I will shut the fuck up for a minute. But go check those out.
While Ben is kind of the theatre geek extraordinaire, I'm at the other end of being relatively new to the scene, where I have seen musical theatre growing up, and I have seen quite a few, and I do enjoy it, but I stick by a very strict thing of not listening to cast recordings unless I've seen a show, which drastically limits how many cast recordings I can listen to. So I'm going to try, once this is all over, to try and expand on that. I did gift my sibling tickets to Dear Evan Hansen at Christmas. Thank goodness I hadn't actually booked tickets, and it was just to give me a date and I'll book them. So we didn't book them for March, which was the original plan. But I'll book those once this is all over, then I am about to make Ben very upset and say I haven't seen Matilda or Mary Poppins.
No,
So
you
I
don't.
will do that.
No, you don't. I'm not going to be upset about that. If anything, I'm excited, and we should go together because I need more people to see it with.
Absolutely.
Oh, we need like a squad trip to see Matilda.
Wait,
Oh, absolutely.
yes.
I haven't seen it, and it's been on my list for absolute years.
Perry, you could cosplay Michael Wormwood because it's super easy. It's literally just a red jumper and a hat, and that's it.
I mean, absolutely.
Because
yes, I'm down to
yes, because I need somebody to come with me in Wormwood cosplay because otherwise it's gonna look weird. But if we go as like Wormwood and that will also be fun, and it will be like really cool for first thing.
I absolutely will do that. I'm good to cosplay whenever. I find myself almost accidentally cosplaying for things.
You did that.
I think I've told you guys about what happened when I saw School of Rock.
You
where
didn't?
I showed up and I was wearing just my own clothes, and I bought a t-shirt at the kind of concession stand that I thought looked cool that I'd seen around before. I, at this point, had gone in completely blind because I'd only seen the film and I hadn't seen any pictures or anything from the show. I was just like, oh, I'll just go and see the show. So I put on this t-shirt from the concession stand with the outfit I was wearing. Turns out that's what Jimmy wears in the second scene of School of Rock, and I was so it went really well. The cast at the end at stage door were questioning how it was my only first time seeing it, if I already knew what the cosplay was. I had to explain, no, this is just my clothes. So yeah, I'm absolutely up for cosplaying intentionally to go see something at some point.
Please. Oh, and also I have my Roberts and I cosplay, so I don't know. We could, or Mr. Banks. You could do Mr. Banks. That would be fun. So you can just be angry at me for being like he's. One of the lines is that I've accidentally put boot polish on his hat. So just do some stupid garbage, but that would be very, very fun.
I love it.
I don't have enough friends to go see theater with, let alone cosplay stuff with, because just we must. This is now we have this wonderful group of people.
Yeah.
Bunny, are you?
I would 100% come see Mary Poppins with you because it's like one of my favourite movies.
Yes.
I have 3 Mary Poppins costumes at this point.
Yes.
Amazing.
I have the Jolly Holiday dress, which so many times whenever I'm in that, people are like, "You look like Julie Andrews." I'm like, "No, quiet, please." Think of this house. And then I have 2 of the costumes from Emily Blunt's Mary Poppins Returns. But literally, I had the costume she wears during the cover is not the book. I had that costume custom made.
Wow.
And I wore it to Con last was LFCC in July. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I was wearing it like living my best life because it's such a fun costume to wear. And I had 2 people come up to me and literally they turned around and like, "Oh, we worked on the movie. That costume's amazing. It's so accurate. Emily would love it." And I'm like,
"Oh my
what?
God,
you worked on the movie?"
That's amazing.
I'm like,
that
"Oh my God,
so cool."
Dream come true. But yeah.
So yeah, Bunny, have you got any musicals that you're interested in seeing when this is all over?
Don't know, but if you know me well, I will 100% be going down to 6 many times.
Amazing.
I love it. That is what got me, like, I've not been into musical theatre since I was in school, and discovering 6 was what got me back into it all again. So I'm kind of thanking 6 for me discovering Beetlejuice, which is an insane thing to think about, but
yeah,
it kind of all linked together, and then I found obviously Beetlejuice, and then out of that I found Kerry, which again is insane because I've now looked into lots of stuff that she's done, and there's so many cast recordings on Spotify that need to be listened to because they're so good. If I can recommend one, it would be Disaster and Xanadu, because Kerry Butler putting on a fake Australian accent.
Oh my God,
amazing! That sounds
so funny.
That just sounds amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, please come see Mary Poppins with us. That would be
I definitely will.
The most iconic. We gotta have a trip. It's
got to do.
We do.
Yes, it's mandatory, and if you need any reason for why you should be spending that, it's because isolation is difficult and we deserve a fucking day out.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, so Charlie, do you have any musicals you're a fan of?
I do indeed, yeah. Like Perry was saying, I was meant to be going to see Dear Evan Hansen and Be More Chill in London, but
Be More Chill is one that I need to go watch as well.
So I hadn't actually booked Dear Evan Hansen, but I think Be More Chill my friend had booked, and we were meant to be going seeing that on April 1st. So that's a real bummer that we can't go see it. And that's one of my favourite musicals out there. As for just general musicals that I want to see or see again, we were kind of talking about this before we started recording, but Kinky Boots is one of my favourites out there.
Oh.
Like, I heard about it because of Brendan Urie being in it, because I'm a goddamn emo. But I'm sorry, it's honestly the best thing. The costumes in it are so good at the very end. And, like, as a person, because I want to go on and do costume design making later on in life, hopefully. So just seeing those final like drag queen costumes, they're so good.
Yes.
And honestly, I could talk about costume for hours. And another one was Six. Just generally, it's so good.
Yeah.
You don't get many musicals that are done like a concert, so that was really interesting.
That's what drew me into that one. It was so good. Like the first time I saw Six, I think it was when they were on Britain's Got Talent last year, which is before they became the big thing that they are now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I managed to get tickets to see on October 13th when the cast changed. So when Amy Atkinson left, when Maya left, and when Millie O'Connell left. And I saw it on the Saturday. I saw the Sunday matinee, which was what I thought was going to be their last performance, but I didn't realise there was an evening show. And I stayed at that stage door in full costume all day trying to get a ticket. And it was just before the 7 o'clock show started, and the security guard on the door came over to me and went, "Oh, can you come outside for a second? We've got something for you." I was like, "Okay, am I in trouble for like being inside here and not having a ticket?" Then they took me outside and they gave me a ticket that someone had handed to them.
Oh, that's so
no
sweet.
Word of a lie. I burst into tears, and the whole foyer cheered.
So nice.
That's
Oh
so
my God,
fucking
that's
This
amazing.
is why I love the Six fandom.
Yeah, that's perfection.
Such a good fandom. Like, it's amazing. I actually didn't know that they were on Britain's Got Talent. I think they were at the Fringe Festival.
Yes, that's where they started.
Which is kind of where I heard about them. And I literally didn't know anything about it going in to see it, because they were, again, in my hometown. So I saw them on the UK tour. And going in, I just blew my mind. They're so good.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. Six has been one that a lot of my friends have enjoyed and gone seen, but then I've wanted to go see it and they've not had enough money or not had the time, and so I've not been able to go see it with people. So I basically was just putting it off until someone said, "Hey, I'm going to go see it. Want to come?" And I was in New York, and it happened to be opening week, so I just thought, well, might as well. So I went and stood in line for the opening night of previews for Six on Broadway, and it was possibly the best rush experience I've ever had in my life. We just sat, and they have a thing over there, so it's guaranteed 30 tickets for every show for the rush. So
that's so cool.
You knew the 15th person from that point onwards, it was a bit dodgy whether or not you were going to get a ticket. I was number 7 in line, and I got there at I think about 6:30 in the morning. There have been some people who've been there since like 3 a.m, which is crazy. But yeah, I was just basically waiting in line. Got to see first show. It was absolutely electric. I think every queen had like 30 seconds to a minute of cheers after their songs. There was a standing ovation in the middle of Catherine Parr's song.
Wow.
It's amazing.
that does remind me of the last show on October 13th.
Yeah.
Because it was so emotional, because 3 of the main cast members that have been there from the beginning of West End were leaving, and Natalie May Paris, who plays Jane Seymour, she couldn't finish her song very well. She literally broke down into tears.
No.
And oh my God.
No.
Even the queens that weren't leaving the show got a standing ovation after every single song.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
It's such an amazing fandom, and I met most of the cast's parents that night too.
Fantastic.
Including Millie O'Connell's mum and her brother, who turned around to me and went, "You look like Millie," and I'm like, what?
That's so cool.
Some show parents
it probably was more than likely the reason that, in fact, I was fully dressed in Anne Boleyn with the Spaceland and everything. But
yeah,
we thanked them anyway.
Amazing.
So sweet. Yeah, show parents can be so sweet and nice. And like one time when I was seeing Romantics Anonymous, I saw the grandparents of one of the ensemble dudes, and he's an ensemble guy, but he is dating in real life the love interest. So he basically watches his girlfriend fall in love with another dude on stage every night, which is interesting. And so I was sitting next to the grandparents, and it was when I travelled up to Bristol to see it. It was going to Bristol, and then it was going to go on American tour, but then it was going to be in LA, and then it got cancelled because it got cancelled in LA because because Corona and shit. And so then we had to I saw it there, and they were really sweet, and so they were like, "Oh, we'll introduce you to him," because they saw me like mouthing along, because I saw it twice in one day because I was only up in Bristol for a day. So I was like, I'm gonna go see it, and I was like, no, I just saw it for the first time today. I just learned it really quick. It's really sweet, and they were really nice. It's lovely the friends you can meet through like community of theatre, and just like getting a conversation of either with actors or with people. Like, it's really sweet.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Down where I live, we're only getting 6. We were supposed to be getting 6 later this year. School Vox next year. And we had We Will Rock You only a few months ago. So you guys get it really fast. Down here, the theatre community is very small, so we only get like the touring versions every now and again. But even the touring versions, it's really cool to see like these shows and then talk to you guys who have seen like the massive ones, and then look into how different the massive ones are. And it's really cool to have this sort of community that spreads out so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's cool to see the comparisons of shows, especially when they do sometimes have to downsize for the various theatres that they're in and things. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, moving on time. Next up, we have Attic Chats. As I call it, interrogation time. So,
yay!
Now we're going to get to know Bunny a little more with these questions that we all answered in the first episode, and we've asked every one of our guests since. So let's start. And how did you get into cosplaying?
Well, it basically started because I was a huge Doctor Who fan. That's where I started.
Yes!
Yes.
I was waiting.
You cannot tell Matthew is the biggest Whovian in the chat.
So, where I live is just a small town. We don't get any Comic-Cons and everything, but in our library, we had this Doctor Who event that was coming up, and it was like a bunch of cosplayers that were going to do a show and everything. So this is where I basically started cosplaying, because I went out and I put together a Sarah Jane cosplay from Charity Shops because she was my favourite character. Yeah. And that's basically where I started, and here we are around 10 years later. So
that's really cool.
That's very good, yeah.
As you can probably see from, if you know my Instagram, everything has changed. Like, it got to a point, I think it was 3 years ago, where I really started taking stuff seriously. And I put so much more budget into stuff, like, you don't want to know what I spend on cosplay.
Yeah, no, like, all of your cosplays are absolutely amazing. Your Barbara,
Thank you.
The amount of effort you put into her is honestly, I love it so much.
I have to admit that dress took so long to find. And one of the things that really frustrates me, it comes with having my accurate Barbara, and it comes with having Anne Boleyn and making Kay Howard next, is the amount of people I get in my inbox basically demanding to know where I got stuff from. And I'm like, you for one, you don't follow me.
Yeah.
2, you could ask politely. 3, I'm not telling you anything.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
is completely fair.
That's very valid.
And I mean, I guess that does make me sound a little rude at times. I'm like, I put months and months of effort into sourcing all the stuff that I use.
Yeah.
I'd rather tell people to go, if you search for this, if you look for that, if you do this, then you're going to probably find similar stuff. But I don't want to just hand it to people on a plate.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
People to realise how much effort you have to put in to do stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean,
at least for me, that's the most rewarding bit of cosplay is putting in all that
Exactly,
effort
it's the
and then
research.
being able to show it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
So like,
absolutely.
it's totally valid to like buy stuff for cosplay if you can do that, and if you don't have the resources to like make stuff for yourself. But if you
Exactly.
But if you like you source stuff and you do stuff and then if somebody as well like they just buy everything and then they're like, oh, this is it. Like as well as it's not as fun, or they just don't source anything, then it's
Yeah.
like it also feels like you're just kind of like, oh, well, I just did all this and now you're just taking it. Like, and it's
Exactly.
you can do that if you want, but it does feel a bit weird if you're just like, I'm just going to give this away. And also, if they buy all the same stuff as you do, their thing is going to be pretty much exactly the same, which you don't want it to be precisely the same. And they can figure out their own stuff, as much as it might be helpful if it's like a specific thing and if they're asking nicely and if they follow you and if they're cool about it.
Exactly.
But,
Like, don't come to me if you've not seen me around before and just expect me to tell you everything about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The reward for me is posting a photo
Sometimes.
and getting the cast comment in. Like,
yes.
when I posted my photo when I finished Barbara completely, it was Kerry commented and was like, oh my god, you nailed it. And I'm like, that is just the validation that I need.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can find amazing stuff as well when you go to your local charity shop.
Yeah. That's where I started.
Amazing place. Yeah, that's where I started. My first ever cosplay was David Tennant, 10th Doctor, and I found the jacket in a charity shop and decided to start from there.
That's how we do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great.
Charity shops are my second home. Like my beautiful. Don't have to spend all the money. Be smart.
I mean, that's kind of where I started with Barbara as well. I was like, okay, I want to start making TikToks. I need to find a dress that vaguely looked like it. And my first dress that I got was pretty much a very, very similar pattern, but I got it from H&M for like 13 quid. And it was a good place to start for me because I had the blonde wig, I had the green dress now, and I was like, okay, I can start making stuff.
Yeah.
While I'm searching for everything else that I need. And I was like, okay, this is just going to be my cheapest cosplay, the easiest. Yeah, that didn't end out.
No.
Yeah.
It's one of my most expensive wigs. I'll tell you that.
Oh wow.
But when you if you do, with anything, spend money on, this is something that you love, and as long as you're not being like stupid and reckless with it, and you're like, I can't afford to pay my debt because I got this really cool Canon wig, like, if you're just saving some money and if you're doing stuff that makes you happy, like, obviously for me, just because I'm like super trying to be cheap, and also because if I'm like styling something or if I'm using fabric, I could mess it up and I'm still learning, so I'm gonna get cheaper stuff anyway. But but like it's totally valid for you to spend your money how you like. So like people can be like, wow, that was really expensive, but
exactly, it's one of the things. I mean, my family, not my mum's side, but my dad's side, have questioned a lot, like, oh, why do you spend all this money on going to cons, doing this, doing that? I'm like, my dad's a football fan. I turn around and I go, you can answer that question when you ask yourself, why do you spend all that money on a season ticket?
Yes.
Oh, shots fired.
It's the same thing.
It is.
That's like something he's passionate about. So yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
People act like they don't have, like, just because it's something that's more mainstream, like football, it's something more laddie or something more like commercial, doesn't, like, they do the exact same thing, or like, guys spending too much on trainers or sneakers or whatever. And if you really like that, go for it. It's your money. But like, people just need to be more. And luckily I've found a lot of decent and cool people who are just like really chill, but just more respectful of what you got going on. Just be happy and be fun and have fun with it, and that's the whole point of cosplay anyway.
Yeah, it's just having fun. I mean, there's so many friends that I've met and made from going to cons, from cosplaying, from being a fan of Beetlejuice and Six and everything, it's so much fun. The people you meet, and like I've made friends for life out of it, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's shared interests.
Yeah.
And you love it enough to like. I mean, it isn't a quantifier of how much you love it better than somebody else, but like you clearly love it enough to, or this specific character, to cosplay them, to work on it, to make it a project. You're artistic, you're creative, and it's like rewarding. So it's great. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Bunny, do you have any funny stories from being a cosplayer, or something funny that happened at a con or filming or whatever?
God, got a couple that really come to mind, but I don't know that any of you, Matty, you may know who I'm talking about when I say Katie Manning from.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've known that lady for 8 years now, and there was a con, I think it was maybe 3 years ago in Cleethorpes, and pretty much whenever we go to cons together now, I end up being her chaperone, because she just goes everywhere, and I'm like, Katie, this way, that way, you know. We took her out for a cigarette, and it was, you know, it was windy because we were at the seaside, and she couldn't light her cigarette, and then she goes over to this. It was a closed down like fish and chip bar with like the piled up seats around it and everything. And I kid you not, she climbs under this table, like full squats down, and is just there lighting her cigarette under this table.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That sounds like a cursed image and a half.
Yeah.
It really is. And probably the funniest cosplay moment I've had was getting changed underneath a table in the middle of con. The things we do.
Context?
Things we do for cosplay.
So I was like, okay, there's no changing rooms. And I was talking to one of the stall holders, and she was like, oh, do you think you could get changed under here? And I was like, yeah, we'll do it. And then they're trying to get out of a corset and trying to get out of a wig.
Oh my god.
Everything. It was...
It was
funny.
Iconic.
Because I'm like, okay, there's no changing room, but I can't exactly travel home for 3 hours in Elsa. That wouldn't work. I don't want children sat next to me on the train. Please go away.
Oh my god. I had
and it's honestly one of the things I love about what I do as well. When I tell people what I do and then I follow up with like, yeah, I don't like kids. I'm a character actor most of the time, so I do kids parties, kids events, like Christmas light switch-ons. I've done stuff like that as well, and I get kids all the time, and I'm good at interacting with kids. God, I don't like them.
Oh, that's so fair.
Such a mood, though.
That is relatable.
I can
one of
like
things. Everyone's like, why don't you want kids? And I'm like, I'd rather drop kick one.
Yes. I can like kid individually if they're cool and they're chill sometimes. But oh my god, some of them are just little brats that you just want to kick in the head.
Absolutely.
But you know, I was probably a little brat as well, so I'm grateful that I don't kick those kids in the head. But you know, that's part of the growing up process. I mean, not when
It's one of the things. I mean, I don't mind kids. I mean, this is the thing. I like the kids that, oh, I'll have you for a photo. You're cute. Here, take it back.
Yes.
Keep it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can deal with kids for like an hour, 2 hours maximum. After that, no, you gotta go.
They remind you of how much energy you don't have. Like, I have decent energy, but so much of like, let's go play, let's go run around. And I'm like, if I run for more than 2 seconds, I'll die. Please leave me alone.
That's one of the things about what I do as well. You get the kids that are really respectful, and then you get the kids that aren't. So one of the last parties I did before we closed down for quarantine, and my dresses aren't expensive, but they aren't cheap. Yeah. And it kind of went in slow motion. This kid went to throw a balloon up in the air.
Oh.
Not bad, but this kid had a massive pot of cream in their hand.
Oh no.
And I looked down at the floor, I was like, okay, it's fine, it's just on the floor. And then I looked down again and my skirt was drenched in cream, and I'm like, oh no, don't swear, you can't, you're a princess, don't swear. You've got this, breathe. And I'm like, I've got like 50 minutes after this party and I have to cope with that on my skirt and have a smile on my face.
Oh no.
We did it, and my skirt's now fine. It went through the washing machine okay, which I was stressed about, but it was one of the more, I was like, yeah, if this doesn't come clean, we're making them pay for a dry cleaning bill.
Yeah,
And
good.
my boss was like, we wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to do that. And I'm like, we would have to because I can't afford
We
to do
are.
it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. And also, like, I've seen from a lot of people who I've just seen of like character actors, like children's actors on TikTok, of that a lot of the times the parents can try to like ruin the magic of their, or like hit on the
Yes.
princesses or
Yeah.
something weird. What kind of, have you had any? This is slightly off the thing, but could also be funny stuff or interesting stuff. What kind of interactions with parents have you had?
Oh god. I mean, I've had. It depends what costume I'm in, really. It happens more of the time when I'm dressed in Harley. which
Oh
obviously
yeah,
you can
sure.
Expect.
Well, you shouldn't expect it because I hate that, but I see
Yeah,
where you're coming
exactly.
from. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
amount of like parents I've seen like staring at my ass, and I'm like, you're
Ooh.
lucky I don't
No.
mind that because you know, you know.
Well,
it-
Harley
it-
does have a baseball bat, so check them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just vibe check.
Vibe check.
I have.
It did not pass.
Back off, incel. Exactly. Yeah.
I've had parents hit on me before, not very often. I think the worst one was someone's granddad making comments and like,
Oh no.
Yeah,
I'm watching
Oh.
photos. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, you can have it, but just don't, you know.
That's so creepy.
But just
And
Good
stop.
God.
No, that's
the
really...
worst interaction I've ever had was a con actually,
Oh.
LFCC last year when I was dressed in Poison Ivy, which, yeah, it's just a bodysuit, and like 6 years ago I wouldn't have done anything like this, but I'm a lot more confident than I used to be.
Good.
Mhm.
And
Good.
I really don't mind anyone staring because I'm like, yeah, I'm in this cosplay. Look at it, do what you want, stare at my ass. I don't care.
Sure.
But someone asked me to pose for a photo, and they like, oh yeah, pretend to like knee him in the balls, and I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. And this was a Johnny Bravo cosplayer,
Okay.
and he totally got. I don't know whether he got the wrong end of the stick or anything, but he grabbed my leg, like not like near my knee or anything, but like up near my arse, and I'm like, yeah, can we move the hand? And I just froze, had the photo, and was like, yeah, please leave.
Ew.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I don't like
Very-
it. I don't like it.
cosplay is not consent, lads.
Exactly.
Cosplay
is
does
not-
not mean consent.
Perry learned that lesson the hard way.
Oh god.
What? Sorry,
What?
that sounds dodgy as fuck. Can we please add some context to the listeners?
Yeah, I
Because it
mean,
sounds like Perry is like, oh, I tried to grope somebody,
No.
but it's not.
I would like the context for this, Matty. I think
Not
just
that way.
How so?
can I hear the
Just
context?
Perry trying to kill Robin. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. I did try and attack someone. But to be
That's an
fair-
inside joke if anyone didn't get it.
Okay, alright, great, thanks.
oh,
Good to
All
know.
of just us being like, what?
Perry, what have you done? Do we have to cancel
Oh.
Perry?
No, I was cosplaying the Joker. I think I told the story on the podcast, but I was cosplaying the
Yeah, I
Joker,
think you have.
and there was someone dressed up as Robin, and they had a big like staff wooden stick thing. And I started walking towards them, and they tried to like hit me with it, so I grabbed the stick and went to like mime hitting them back, and I didn't hit them. No, I just took their stick for a second, and then I gave it back and walked away. Matty, come at me.
No,
He has a stick.
I'm not.
Watch out.
Joker.
I'm Sweeney Todd. Fight me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you've got some powerful
We've got
characters.
a fight here going now.
Oh, what was that?
My dad
I'm
has the
just gonna
air horn
clap.
up.
Oh, it's
I'll be
8
2 seconds. I'm off to clap.
Oh no, it's
Welcome
8.
to the NHS clap, interrupting the podcast.
You know,
Dad has
very
an
English.
air
Pause and edit this out.
Oh, I love that we're getting this. I
I would
would.
pause and
my
edit this
God.
out because
No,
Yeah.
no. Can we keep this in, please? Air horn is great. It's a little bit. Don't worry, it's a bit muffled on my end, so it's not.
okay, there's fireworks going off outside.
Oh my god.
oh my god, yeah, I've got fireworks as
There are
well.
lots of
Yeah,
pots
that's-
and pans.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
that's an essential purchase. Going out to buy some fucking fireworks.
I've
The
done my duty for Queen and Country.
good. The only reason I'm not getting up is because I don't live on a street with people, so like this would just be me alone outside clapping. But I will do a quick. Thank you, NHS. Thank you, NHS. Thank you.
My housemates are doing a great
families
job
on my
of pots
street.
and pans
so you've
without
got to
me.
go out and-
That's good. It would be
This is
very
the
weird
thing,
and sad.
anybody
for me.
listening back to this is not going to realise exactly what we're doing because it's not going to be at 8 o'clock when listening to this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a clap for
Anyone
the
that isn't in
NHS
the
happening.
UK.
Yeah, this is recorded
We have
Thursday at
to
8.
what?
At the end of the podcast, but this time we're throwing it out the window. We're going halfway through, boys.
Exactly. Perry, is Perry still here? We haven't lost.
Hello. Yes.
Okay, we
I'm
haven't
here.
lost you to the NHS clap.
No.
Good. I think you've got the next question for Bunny. So if we keep.
Are we going to the sound in the background?
Hopefully the air horning will stop soon.
Okay.
I think it
So, yeah,
adds
so
character.
Bunny, next question is, what advice would you give someone who wants to start cosplaying?
Oh, that's a good one. Don't let anybody basically tell you what you can and can't do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's one of these things, I mean, there's so many cosplay elitists around, and I have to admit, I have my, like, people get paranoid with me at con because I'm a total bitch. And it's just one of these things I'm like, I don't like that we're not doing this, that. But it's one of the things that I'm not going to go over to somebody that has put so much effort in and be like, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right.
Yeah.
If they're
Yeah.
comfortable with what they're wearing, just let them do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You may not like it, but you don't have to tell that to their face.
Yeah, live and let live.
Exactly. And I know a lot of my cosplays aren't stage accurate or show accurate, you know, whatever. And I know a lot of the friends that I've made have been put down in some point in their lives, especially the Star Wars community is the worst for it, from what I know.
Oh yeah, there's like
No,
there's a very
we don't
elite
get into
thing.
that.
I can't
Yeah.
remember what it's called.
But
Very
it's just one of these things, like, if you vaguely look like the character and are recognizable, you do you, boo. You're happy.
But
You're
even
happy,
if you don't, like, there's some. I totally agree. Just like vibe with it. But I also see.
Exactly.
Oh, you know what I hate though is when there's like racist people of like, oh, you are black, so you can't cosplay this white character because they're not
Mhm.
black in the
Oh,
thing.
absolute
no.
bullshit.
And it's like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up, shut the fuck up. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, no, I'm sick and tired of that. That's not.
Mhm.
On that note as well, one of the things that annoys me is these people that come out to call out cosplayers that are white and wear cosplays like Moana or Tiana and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're not actively making themselves look darker. They're just wearing the costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're appreciating the
Yeah.
character. Like,
Oh my-
I don't like when people fake tan a lot to cosplay characters like that. But if you're not darkening your skin, what's the problem? I don't see
Yeah.
what the issue is.
I see that
Yeah.
it can
On
be a bit
a-
weird, but you know, do you? It's just usually because that is a character made specifically. Like a lot of the culture is very specific to the entirety of their character. So I see why people can be like a bit like, oh, that's a bit iffy because there's very little representation for people of color, especially in Disney, as there is. So
Yeah.
then you could just be
Yeah.
like, cosplay anybody else, please. But you can do what you like. But usually, also, it means that one, you don't look as much like them if you're fully white usually, and it doesn't fully take away from anything really, but I see some people's point, but you don't need to start cancelling them if they don't do anything.
It leads into a lot of issues that I see in the princess community, which is what I do. There are a lot of
Yeah.
people that go out and get paid to go to events that are white and they're Moana or Jasmine, Pocahontas, and that's what I don't agree with. If you're cosplaying it, it's fine, but if you're getting paid to do it,
Yes.
find an actor that has that skin tone.
Yeah, because people are already denied, like people of color, especially in princesses, because again, there's less rep, but also in general theater, because there's so much typecasting. The first non-white Miss Honey in Matilda was like 3 months ago. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's been 8 years, and that's because of like typecasting and subconscious stuff. So if there's somebody who's written to be a person of color, which that's usually the only way, very often, that people of color can be cast because they have to be.
This is
so like
another thing that
let
I
it
love
happen.
about Six.
Mhm.
Literally, like I've seen the like casting stuff and everything, and they broadcast this. They don't care what color your skin is. They don't care what nationality you are, whether you're trans, whether you're a guy, a girl, or anything. You can audition for any of the parts there. And if you're a good singer and a good dancer, they will consider you for the role.
Can you audition as a dude?
Yeah.
I think so. Non-binary people are and stuff like that are like, they're like, please come and audition. We want to see you, which is really cool.
I like that.
That's really
Ben's
cool.
just hopping on that.
Yeah, I might just let me just get a taste of Berlin. Let me just.
I mean, I don't know whether you guys saw it last year. It was the weekend of LFCC, actually. I wish I got a ticket for it. Half of the cast pulled out of one show because they were ill.
Yes, it's Toby.
Which Toby stepped in for Catherine Parr, which was incredible.
That is so cool.
I saw him in. I don't know if you guys know the existence of Hotkey Time Machine, which is a weird kind of like gay 2-man show that Toby did, and I originally saw him in that, and it was like this tiny like 10-person theatre thing in Trafalgar Studios, and I saw him and met him after that, and he's a sweetheart. And then I saw like Six blow up and all that stuff, so that's so cool for him. Like, I'm proud of him.
I mean, it's one of the things I do love about Six. I mean, half of the original cast were LGBT. I mean, you've got Amy Atkinson, who is gay. There's so many of that cast that have like partners and stuff, and I'm like, I love this representation.
I didn't even know that, but that's so. I love it.
So Amy Atkinson is with Genesis Linnea, who was originally Cleves. So they were in it together. They're on the cast recording.
That's so cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah. One of my favourite things about Six is you can be anything, and as long as you're talented enough, they'll want you. It's really good.
Which is what all casting and everything should be like. It should be like that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it should be. Which sadly, a lot of people use that argument to sort of against diversity. Like, I hear people being like, well, you know, we didn't cast a black actor because it just so happened we just picked the person who was the best. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but sometimes you got to do a little bit of forced diversity when you haven't had a non-white lead in about 4 years. Like, maybe give it a minute, you know? Like, it's not. Yeah, that's some BS. Anyway, oh yeah, I know that we touched upon this a little bit last week, but I was thinking we could talk a bit more about any cosplays we're working on at the moment, especially because we have a new guest, and because this is a podcast filled with cosplayers. So maybe let's start with Bunny, because obviously you're our guest, and then we can see what everybody else is up to.
I was telling Charlie about this in DMs, but I didn't go into much detail. So, as you all probably know, I'm a massive fan of Carrie Butler.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, you are?
No,
I don't think
Carrie Butler
more, actually.
I'd never have guessed.
Carrie Butler, who? What? But anyway, because I'm discovering, like, she's been in 12 Broadway shows at this point, and my idea and my plan is it's going to take forever. But I'm going to put together either an inspired look or an accurate stage look of each of her characters from Broadway.
That's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
It kind of sparked when I found the fact that I can cosplay her character Marianne from Disaster straight out of my closet. Because they have a blue button-down shirt and like a blue skirt. It's not accurate, but it works for now. So I'm going to take some photos of that at some point. And then I think my next one after that would be probably Cleo from Xanadu, because that pink dress is just stunning.
Vibes.
And of course I'm working on Kay Howard, which is, 6 again.
Yes.
But yeah.
Those costumes are crazy detailed.
Really cool.
I believe I have 13 costumes to make for my Carrie Butler thing.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
The only show that I've not been able to find any photos of for her costume wise was Blood Brothers, which was her first show on Broadway. She was in ensemble. I've not been able to find any cast pictures anywhere of what she wore. But I mean, I kind of make up for it for having to find the 3 characters that she played in Mean Girls. So it kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a long enough list there as is.
I've got a massive list. I mean, one I think maybe the hardest is going to be Rock of Ages, because that's the costumes in that show are actually incredible. If you've not looked at that one at all, all the kind of like crimped hair and the 80s style, it just looks so cool.
Oh, nice. That's so cool.
But yeah, that's basically my plan for like probably the next year.
Yeah, it's a long list. Matty, what about you?
Sweeney Todd is my main one right now because I put this in the group chat, but I went through every single DVD that my family owns the other week, and I found a proper copy of Sweeney Todd.
Nice.
That re-sparked my love for Sweeney. So that's work in progress, and I've been doing that a lot. I got my Eggman goggles after like 3 months.
Yes.
They finally came in.
Yes. Join
So
the squad.
I need to put that back together because I haven't had that out for a while. And then another one I haven't done in a while is SpongeBob, so I might get the SpongeBob stuff back.
Oh my god, that's such a vibe.
Because I can't buy stuff, so I'm trying to like redo stuff that I've already done, but got the new stuff now.
I see you, Charlie.
Oh, wait, no.
That's amazing.
Charlie changed background to the Stabotnik of them being very, very close.
And I have the Robotnik trim now, so
yeah, you do.
That's probably...
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
Am I the only one here that hasn't cosplayed anything from Sonic?
I have not, and I have a theory. Okay,
so
the Beetlejuice fandom split in half-ish. There's some exceptions, but mainly in half at the release of Sonic and onward. And I have a theory. Okay, so the cosplayers who went to cosplay from Sonic are fans of Beetlejuice because they like the chaos. The people who then went to cosplay from Onward like Beetlejuice because of the found family, and I will be taking no questions at this time.
Perry, the so factual...
Charlie's an exception.
I'm the exception.
Yeah. So there are some people who...
Yeah, I think Charlie completely debunks this theory.
No, Charlie...
I'm agreeing with Perry on this.
No, Charlie likes both.
I'm in neither.
Neither you are stable.
You're
stable if you have
mentally
neither.
Stable. Well done.
You're mentally stable if you've not gone to cosplay either.
Exactly.
You have issues if you cosplay one, and if you cosplay both, good luck.
I mainly cosplayed Robotnik because I didn't want to get into like full makeup stuff, and also because I had like some jacket. Oh my god, I'm getting so many texts. My friend has just made... I love her very much. Shout out to Erin. My friend Erin has made me a playlist, and I love her very much. So she was excitedly being like, "Here's your playlist."
Amazing.
She's an angel, and we love her. But yeah, because everybody was like, "Oh my god, do Robotnik," and then I did it like way too late because immediately 20,000 people had done it even before the movie had come out. So I was like, "Whoop." But we do love the valid and chaotic gay energy. So like that's really flowing through my veins.
But yeah,
I feel like a lot of Beetlejuice cosplays have gone into the Animal Crossing cosplays.
Oh yes,
so many of them have. I'm just here like, I don't have Animal Crossing. I don't have a way to play apart from Pocket Camp. I'm not invested enough in it to go for it. But
me too.
Yeah, I have a Switch that I got for like a gift a while ago, but I really can't. I like it, but I know I'm gonna get bored of it quickly because it's lovely, but it is £60, so like I can't now. Sweet as it does seem, but I'm enjoying watching everybody else play
it.
Yeah.
I spent last night cheating, I'm not gonna lie.
Good.
If you have Animal Crossing on the Switch, the easiest way to cheat is to time travel.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, I've seen stuff about that.
Can't believe you cheat in Animal Crossing.
Basically what I was doing was I was putting money in my bank, saving the game, coming out, going 10 years into the future, coming back and earning like 100,000 bells in profit because of interest. And I just paid off my debt in one go.
Tom Nook is shaking in his boots. It's like, oh god, oh no.
Yeah.
Someone who knows how to play.
Oh, Tom Nook is... I know nothing about the game, but I've seen so much contextual clues of characters and things. And also, so many people are so angry... everybody stop texting me. So many people... Because my text is connected to my computer, so I can't stop this. Because I need my wife. But so many people are, like, being shitty to their villagers because they're ugly. And it's like, isn't this supposed to be the most wholesome game in the world? And you guys are like... You guys are like, this little rat bastard.
It's like, no...
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
My villagers are honestly the cutest. I think my favourite is Sky. She's one of the wolf villagers, and her favourite thing to do, she sings to herself. She likes to make landscape paintings, and she just wears the cute little floral and like cotton kind of stuff. And I'm like, wait, that's just Kerry Butler in Animal Crossing.
I've never met her, but I love her.
I love her.
She's the cutest.
Awesome.
Like she's bright blue as well because her name's Sky.
Aww.
Yeah.
I love the way you all just went. Oh, it's definitely a game for the soul.
We all need Animal Crossing.
It is a game. It's a game for the soul.
An Animal Crossing parody of Tiger King earlier. I will
What?
put it in the group chat.
God.
It's the funniest thing I've ever
I need to see
seen.
that.
Send it to the group chat.
Yeah. Please
Cool.
do, Matty.
Absolutely. Charlie, what
If
about
any
you?
of you want to see the Tiger King merch that I got from my friend, I will send you a photo later.
Please.
It's the best thing. I love it.
Because that was something that made it onto Kerry's story because she found it so funny.
Wow.
I will. If anyone wants to see that, I'll send it to you.
Please,
later.
please. Charlie, what about you? With
I
other-
mean, Onwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wise. This is all Perry's fault. He told me to watch Onwards, and I did. And I've watched it a lot of times now. So this is probably like the biggest cosplay I've been working on before, because to make the staff, I've had to completely I don't know what you call it, strip a stick.
I think it's. Is it planing?
Whittling? I don't know. I had a knife. I was going like chop chop.
Wow.
My brother snapped the stick in half at one point, and I was like, I spent 4 hours on this goddamn stick.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So yeah. I'm
Well,
doing
that's
that.
brother love.
Yeah.
That is displayed in
Absolutely
Onwards.
is. Yeah, and I'm considering dyeing my hair blue for that. So
Yes,
that's
do
probably
it.
the biggest commitment I'll make to a
Charlie.
cosplay.
Charlie, don't do it. I need you as my Adam because you're the only
I
one
know.
directing my stuff.
You've got more duets coming. I'm getting back into Adam sometime this week
Yeah.
because I've missed that man so much. I found perfect trousers for him the other day. I was going through.
Yes.
I can't go to charity shops at the moment. I was going through my brother's small clothes.
Oh.
Which that's my version of a charity shop right now, and I found these like suede chinos. I don't know what color you'd call them. Suede, creamy.
Beige.
That's the one. Beige. not
Suede.
suede.
Suede is like for shoes.
Sweet.
Shoes.
That would be an interesting.
Yeah. But if
I
we
should
think
know this.
about
I do
it,
textiles.
if we think about it, the Maitlands would probably shop at thrift stores and
They
charity shops.
absolutely
That's where
would.
they
I
get
was
their
thinking
stuff
that
from.
earlier.
They would.
No, now I want to do like a full movie Adam as well. And I have so many plaid shirts. I just don't have a black and white grey plaid shirt. The only colour I don't have is so annoying. But yeah.
Oh, gosh,
I
damn.
mean, one cosplay that I've got in my wardrobe that I need to fix up. If anyone saw it on my story a few weeks ago, I have a wedding dress that vaguely looks like Barbara's wedding dress from.
Gorgeous.
Please, if you do that, we'll have to make a wedding suit.
But one of the things is, my idea is, because it's not exactly accurate to the movie, I'm gonna kind of alter it and maybe do a wedding Barbara from the musical, kind of mash it up a little bit.
Yes.
Yes.
That'd be
Please,
amazing.
We vibes
That
with
would
it.
be
please do.
I absolutely
That'd be
love
so
that.
good.
Yeah.
We love crossing things over in this fandom. It's
Yes.
great.
We love.
Yes.
Mhm.
Perry, what about you?
So I've only just realised in this conversation that I'm accidentally doing what Bunny's doing with Carrie, but with Will Blum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've got
Oh
these
boy,
confused.
Will.
Will Blum's version of Adam is on the way because
Yes.
I love it so much. They should have freed the curls, but I'm gonna accept it and
Yeah,
do
well-
the slick back look because it is cool.
Mm.
I'm gonna do his Otho, and then I
Yes.
also, because of Will Blum, have got really well. I was already big in School of Rock, but
Mhm.
Dewey will keep happening.
Yes.
I also have rediscovered Book of Mormon.
Oh,
All the Cunninghams are coming.
Perry, we've got to make it happen, Perry.
That's the best
Oh, the
thing.
Cunningham is coming back.
Yes.
So anyone
Yes.
who-
I do
I'll
have
be
to admit,
priced.
we love the
Absolutely.
understudies in this house.
I'll be
oh my
priced.
God, I absolutely like Will Blum's interpretation of characters. I'm blessed to have been able to hear his interpretations of a lot of characters now.
He wasn't in Book of Mormon, though, was he?
He was. He was Elder
He
Cunningham.
was.
In 2012.
Oh my god.
He was Elder Cunningham.
Can he get
And-
any better?
Oh my gosh, his version of Man Up is my life now.
I love him very much.
So I'm basically just going through Will Blum's just list of things he's ever done. So catch me swearing it off now, but in December bringing Buddy the Elf in, because I don't know why that man played Buddy the Elf happened, and I'm a completionist.
Yes.
Perry, this means
Yes.
that we've got to do Will Bloom as Adam, but then I need to do Natalie Ellis as
Absolutely.
Oh,
It
yes.
has to happen.
Yes.
It has to happen.
Do
it.
Understudy rights in his house.
Yeah.
Understudy rights.
Absolutely.
I need a better wig for my Natalie Barbara, but I kind of got that vibe across when I did my original one.
Yes, you did. Oh my gosh, I love your Natalie Barbara so much.
And the understudies
Yes.
would love that. That you're basing it specifically off of their version. Like, I love
Oh, I
that.
absolutely. The last, I think, 3 times I've done Beetlejuice makeup, I've specifically used only Will Blum as references.
Good.
Yes.
The number of comments I get saying I look like Will Blum has also increased in this time. So I'm living my best life over here.
Yeah, I've got the same. I'm like, people are like, oh my god, you look like no. I'm
I'm
not
not sure-
accepting this as canon.
I'm not sure where your eyes are, but I'm gonna just accept that they're in the place where you're looking at me and seeing Will Blum. I'm not gonna correct you because I am enjoying that life.
Yeah. My Beetlejuice reference for makeup is Will, not Alex, because
Yeah.
Will did a thing with some of the other cast about how to do the makeup and stuff a few months ago.
Did it?
Found that, got those reference photos, and now he always uses those for
Yeah,
making
exactly.
Yeah,
Beetlejuice.
he
that's
takes
so cool.
so many mirror selfies as well. Which
Yeah,
we love.
exactly. He's good at the
Yeah.
content.
Yes.
Really good at that.
We love that.
I've got to say, another thing that I saw in the live stream Kerry did yesterday, she was asked the question of what her favourite scene is in Beetlejuice. And it's probably one of my favourite scenes as well, actually, is when they're doing Fright of Their Lives. Because she loves just getting into the whole trying to be scary.
Fright of
that's
Their
my
Lives
favourite.
is my favourite part.
Yes.
And she said that one of her favourite things about that is like whoever's like Beetlejuice or Alex or Will or whatever is the fact that her and like David never know what's going to happen because they change it every night.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Which is why if you watch Boots, you can see. I know Carrie very often is trying not to laugh.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, I remember when I saw it, you could tell because I saw it too many times in one week. And so I could remember very clearly what had happened the last time. And so Fright of Their Lives, there is so much improv that happens in that song.
Mm-hmm.
Just little
That's
tiny
great.
bits. Not enough to change a whole song, not enough to change anything.
Fantastic.
But I am 100% sure Will Blum actually jump scared David Josephberg.
Yes.
I genuinely either David is amazing at acting or he did not expect Will to be where he was when he did it.
That's probably both.
Honestly, that's the best thing.
I think both
Yeah,
are very
probably
true.
both.
I love it so
That's
much.
one of the things I like about Beetlejuice as well is the fact that they change the lines sometimes. So, in Ready Set Not Yet in the Broadway version, it changes sometimes. So when
Yes.
the motherly embrace line that Kerry sings with the jugs, I can't remember what it changed to sometimes, but
I think that's
different
for.
in some-
I think it's mainly consistent, but the amount of changes that they had from previews to DC are immense. So like, there's lots of content with that. But in actuality, like the Broadway thing, every night it's pretty much the same, but it's fresh and new in how they act and behave to make it feel very new,
Yeah.
which is great because
Yeah.
it's good acting. When I met David is a real sweetheart. He I was on like in beach cosplay or something, and he was like, Alex, and then I and then I just kind of went, you are adorable. And then I put my hand on his shoulder, and he was like, "Oh, you're good, man." He was really sweet.
I love it.
Yeah, it was really sweet. But he's a, like absolute legend, and like because I've seen it a decent amount. Like he would come out and he'd be like, "Oh, hey man," he'd just give me a hug. He's like, "How you doing?" And it's just like he's an absolute legend, and he's one of the like New Jersey dads or something with David. Like we love that.
Yeah, Broadway
Yeah.
dads and the real Broadway dads in New Jersey.
Yes. Exactly. Oh yeah, so my cosplay plan is right now I'm working on Amadeus, and from the play Amadeus, and he is, as I explained before, absolute man-child, bastard, and we love it. So immediately I'm like, I kin this man. And he is he's played by a very pretty man called Adam Gillen, who is very talented, and he has some different variations of his outfit, but right now I'm working on like the blue jacket. And I'm waiting on some trousers being delivered on that, and then I'm also revamping my red guy cosplay for Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Yes.
So I handmade this, thank you, I handmade this wig with each individual thing of yarn, and
my God.
I did that for like 5 hours, and I still wasn't fully covered, and now I've left it for like a year and a half, and so I'm coming back and I'm hot gluing more stuff with that, and I'm working on a Pinocchio cosplay for National Theatre.
Yes.
National Theatre version.
Nice.
Yes.
I saw that in James's live stream
Thank
yesterday.
you. So I'm painting some stuff on that. I'm sewing some blue onto the sleeves to make it like that, and waiting on the trousers because I'm going to use the yellow trousers for Amadeus and for Pinocchio because they're relatively sort of similar. And then I'm also waiting on a yellow jumper to do the yellow guy from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. So I can start doing like a chain. And I think I have enough face paint to do the clock maybe. So I might.
Oh, God, that'd be amazing.
The clock.
So I want to. Yeah, woof. But I want to do more of that content because I feel like people would love. Because I've seen some Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared stuff resurfacing, and like people getting back into FNAF, and I'm not super into that, but like people getting into their old fandoms and stuff. So I think that could be a good time to resurface that. So I'm just waiting on this yellow jumper. It's late. Everything else has arrived. I've got dungarees and blue hairspray and stuff like that, but I don't have the yellow jumper.
I waited 3 months for some Dr. Robotnik goggles. I'm sure you were okay.
No, I'll be fine. I'm just hoping they're not lost.
That same thing kind of happened with me with my Barbara dress. I mean, I ordered it
my
back
Barbara
in
dress.
January, and I had to fight with the seller to get it posted. I'm like, have you sent it yet? And like, I wasn't pushy with it, but it got to the point where I'm like, you told me you'd sent it back in February and it's still not been posted. What is going on?
God.
Yeah, because weren't you? Well, we were waiting to go to Birmingham for that.
Yeah, and I was like, crap, it's not going to come in time. It's not, it's not going to be here. Con gets cancelled. It arrives a week before Con.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's
So it's worse now.
rude. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right, so shall we move on to the final thing? Oh, those love letters.
Woo!
This week's the
Wisdom.
words of wisdom this week are: don't inhale hairspray and don't drink the paint water, because trust me, you will not be able to get the taste out of your mouth for hours.
That's so
I made
good.
so many mistakes painting my Beetlejuice suit. One of them was mistaking the teacup full of paint water for my nice tea, and just taking a big old sip out of that. It's not.
I have an anecdote for the hairspray. So in New York, was in my hotel. It was my first time using hairspray for cosplay in a hot sec. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So I sprayed my hair, and I thought all was fine. It was smelling a bit strange, but I was like, it's fine. And then later that night, I had a nosebleed, but it was green.
Oh my god, I've had that. I got like green hairspray in my ear for like ages, and it was like just there forever, and nobody ever fucking told me. Like,
yeah.
Ugh, because I think I did it on my hair, but then sometimes it gets on your scalp, and then sometimes it just gets on your ear because you're trying to do the sides of your hair for like beach. Oh boy,
Yes.
it happens.
It's
so concerning when you use red hairspray though, because then
Oh my
people are
God,
like,
yes.
"Are you good? Oh my
Yeah.
god, are you all right?" And it's like, no, bro, it's just drippy hairspray. It's okay.
Whenever I think of Otho now, I don't know whether any of you have seen the original workshop script for Beetlejuice, but the guy, he comes in on a scooter, like an electric scooter, like the hoverboard kind of thing, and
LEDs and everything.
No, but the best thing is that gets kind of left around, and at the very end of the show, when Beetlejuice makes his exit, he uses the scooter to go into the Netherworld.
He does.
I love it. I love that
Why
so
wasn't
much.
that included?
I love that.
Give Beetlejuice his scooter.
That's so good. I mean,
Just scoots into the Netherworld.
I love that, but I also love the lift because it's very. I love the Hello Dolly reference at the end because also the amount of extra he is to have like 6 people picking him up about 1 meter, Like,
Yeah.
me
I love
too,
it.
bud. We'd love that.
I also, it took me so long to notice that the ensemble members who come in dressed as Beetlejuice don't have the makeup on.
Yeah, they do.
They don't?
Don't they?
They don't have the beard.
Not at the end,
Do they
no.
not?
Not at the end, no.
No,
I never noticed that.
When they come in to take them off stage, they've got vague makeup, but not a lot. Because if you think about it, a lot of them were literally just skeletons. They don't have time to get into the Beetlejuice costume and then put all the makeup on.
Yeah.
The skeletons, I'm sorry. I just love the skeletons so much.
The skeletons
They're one of my favourite
Big head
parts of the
skeletons.
Beetlejuice costume and just set in general. I don't know, would you call them set or costume? Either way, they're amazing.
Yeah,
It's just like the way that the actors like animate them as well. It's just
the mouths and things.
Skeleton dance break is
I
key.
love it so
Beautiful.
much.
I don't know whether any of you go like when Leslie did the series of vlogs.
Yes.
One of my favourite things was when she took one of the fans inside, like backstage, to look at the costume.
Yes, she did.
And oh my god, the detail on the dress that Leslie wears, like the black and white gown that she wears at the end of the show. Oh my god. Seeing that up close is incredible. Same with the Juno suit as well, actually. There's so much detail in those costumes.
Yeah, no. There's like a really amazing video. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it.
Yeah.
But the person that designed the costumes, I cannot remember his name.
William Ivy Long.
That's the one. I do know his name. It just left my brain. But he did a really good, like, in detail tour of how he made the Beetlejuice suit and how he designed the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
And if you guys haven't seen it, I'll send the link in the group chat.
It's very cool, but also I would like to say that from some little bit of digging that I did on this man, he is not so great, which is such a shame, because I fucking love his costumes, but he was accused of just a little bit of sexual assault, which is
right.
Well, just like it was basically that he would hire these boys who were like young or not underage, but usually like right there, and would apparently put like his hands down their trousers without consent while in front of people as like a power play. And because he's this like 8-time Tony winner costume person, like that was against like a similar power thing to like Harvey Weinstein. So it was like
that's a dark turn to take for the end of the episode.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't gonna bring that up until you genuinely mentioned his name, but like I did have to say that as a disclaimer because he's the costumes are amazing, but it's such a shame. It's always the talented people, and they have so much fame, and they become idiots, and I hate it. And I saw him he was like one row behind me at an opening of Seawall / Alive, because I like snuck into the front row. He was second row, and I was like, he was there with like a young dude, and I was like, get out of there. I'm so sorry, bud. Like this does not look good. But Jesus Christ, yeah. But the costumes are amazing, though. We can, and I'm sure he had a lot of help.
I didn't know any of that, so thanks for telling me. Genuinely.
Yeah.
You've been backstage
a lot.
I've had this question for a while. Is the suit that Alex wears when the bow the same one? Because it looks a lot more shiny.
I don't think so. No, he has like 4 different suits.
He has a different suit.
He has so many different suits.
The suit with the bars has detailing on the stripes. He's basically got beads all the way down it that sparkle and shine.
Yes, that's
it's definitely different. Yeah.
Like with all the emotions that are in Beetlejuice, Adam and Bob really got paid because they're the
yeah, right?
Their costumes are so boring. I love them. They're just there like, little flannel shirt. Yeah, we're doing great. Yeah, Skeletons over there. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're dead now.
That's kind of the point, though, because
I know. I love them so much.
It's one of the reasons I love their DC costumes, because I just love Barbara in that little coloured dress with the little cardigan on it.
Oh, the cardigan was such a move, and Adam with glasses. I miss it. I miss that.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah,
But we do. That was and Blonde Lydia. Shout out for Kristen for Blonde Lydia.
Yes.
Blonde Lydia, absolutely. Yeah. So we have talked a lot, but this is great. I love this. I love you guys. So I think that brings us to the end of today's episode. So let's go around and say our social medias. So let's start with Bunny and then kind of like work our way along of like what social medias would you like to plug us, ways people can find you and follow you.
Well, my sorry, ignore me. My Instagram is bunny 2.0 with an underscore at the end.
Nice.
So that's my Instagram. My TikTok is the same but without the underscore at the end, so it's just bunny 2.0.
Nice. Nice. Matty, what about you?
Matty and the cosplay on Instagram, or is it? Yeah, and it's if you search up Beetlejuice and Matty on TikTok, it will come back up because I've had to rebrand again because a lot of people weren't finding me anymore. So if search up Beetlejuice and Matty, it will come up.
Nice. Charlie?
Nice. Just Charles II Cos with underscores between each word, because I've realised I haven't actually been saying that for the past 3 episodes. But if you search up Charles II Cos, I'll probably come up on TikTok and Instagram.
Nice. Perry?
Nice. Yes, I'm 4 rats in a trench coat on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Nice. I'm just gonna plug my TikTok, which is BenedictTok. Which
I like that.
Thank you. I'm so proud of that. Only like one person in one comment has gotten the joke, but we love it. Please comment on any of my posts and I will send you any information or content regarding the underrated musicals that I said at the beginning. I will talk about them always and forever and send you any audio boots because fuck it, accessibility is important, especially right now, and you need to listen to it.
If anybody wants it, I have a link to a Discord server with audio boot and video boot of lots and lots of shows.
Good.
Yeah,
good
there's a Discord server for that.
Yes.
We love that. Amazing.
Yeah. So thank you again to Bunny for joining us this week.
Thank you for having me.
It was amazing to have you. Can maybe have you again another week. I don't know if we're taking guests back. It'll be cool.
I can talk forever, as you already know.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone that's listening, and thanks for enduring the chaos. We will see you next week. So goodbye from me, Charlie.
Me, Perry.
Bye from me, Matty. We've made it for an episode. Yeah!
Oh my god, he's finally here!
Oh my god.
That's crazy. Maybe we'll continue this trend. And from me, Ben. Thank you very much. Thanks everybody for listening. Good night. Check back in next week for the next episode. Bye guys.
Bye.
Sorry. Follow our Instagram, Neitherworld podcast, Netherworld _ podcast for updates and stuff. Anyway, goodbye. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye.